Sorry, talking without turning the mic on. Good evening, everyone. Okay. The last few weeks we talked about mentality when we think about finance, and today will be a very special session because we're going to talk about the ability to keep money. That is one of the important things in terms of growing our finance. So we have ability to keep monies and a plan to use money meaningfully. And as promised last few weeks, today we learn about the 6 fund rules. And this has been passed down to us by the people who've been very successful with their money. Okay, so we act that they told us they as we want to grow our finance, then the main thing is we have to have the plan to use money meaningfully. Okay, imagine, let me share the screen. So let's say nowadays most of us we tend to think, most of the guru, they tend to telling us we need to have many way of earning money, right? Not just your salary from the job that you're doing, but maybe from the investment that you're doing. Yeah, invest some of your second job, some of your side hustle, for example. Okay, so there's all the guru has been telling us we should have a lot of way to bring in incomes. But think about this: what if you don't need to control the amount of money in, but you know how to keep money, so you have the ability of keeping money, right? Keep your money, and you have plans to use money meaningfully. So plans to use your money meaningfully. So that means that instead of controlling how much the money in, how many ways that you can earn money, instead you control how the money coming out. So you keep the what they call the end in mind. If you have ever read the book called Think and Grow Rich, and you should be familiar with the term the end in mind. So when you keep your end in mind, and that end is actually meaningful, then somehow the universe or everything in your life will work at the way allow you to achieve what you want to achieve, which means something that very meaningful, either meaningful to yourself, to your family, or meaningful to the world that we live in. Okay, and this is a total mindset changing, because in our daily life most of the time we always heard about how to bringing the money in and how to make a lot more of our money. Yeah, but this is the way that most this is the way that most successful people, when they keep the end in mind of something that meaningful, then they be able to bring in the money. Okay. Take an example. As we're talking about Elon Musk, right? So Elon Musk, at the beginning, his starting wasn't from the rich family. If you have a chance to read the book that his mom wrote, May Musk is mom name. In her book, she wrote about their life when Elon Musk grew up, and she gone through a very difficult time because she have a very violent husband, apparently taking everything from her and her family, didn't give her anything, and she had to run away with the kid to South Africa. And then Elon Musk growing up there. Okay. At the beginning, he wasn't like a very smart person, kind of not any type of geek at all, and he quite keeping everything for himself, which means he grew up in a, we can say, a not very poor but kind of average family. Okay. Then how come now at the moment he become one of the most richest man or successful man, is because when he start working and start have planning for for all the finance and the money that bringing in, he didn't really think about how he can make the money, but he think about what, how to make the world better, how he can create the type of car that doesn't use petrol. How can he create a type of car that help the world and save global warming? So those actually meaningful plans, right? Obviously, is in terms of what he was doing. He was engineer, okay. But most engineer, they don't have the plan like him. Most engineer, they don't actually thinking of the ways he think, and because of the way he think, because of his thought, that keep the end in mind of having a meaningful plans, then he start attracting money. Okay, all the investors start invest in him, invest in his plan, invest in what he was doing, and then he start generating money without have to work very hard for it. Obviously, he's a very hard working man. He working too hard that he doesn't actually have much time for his kids and his family. But when we're talking about the finance point of views, then we see that is because of what he planned for the future of the next generation. Okay, all the money coming into him, and he be able to attain his dream. Yeah, attain what he want to do. Okay, so how is that applying for us as the normal people living in normal life? Okay, let's say when you're single, most of us when we're single, we don't really have meaningful plans for our money. Most of us, when we start leaving our family, working for a job, what we want to do, just want to be independent, right? Most of the time when we first left our family, we just want to be independent, not depend on our parents regarding finance. And that's normal for everyone. But then one of us start thinking of how can we make something that better to the world, make something that better for our family, or when we start having kids, having family, and then we start having kids, then we start planning a lot of things for the future. Okay, we start having some kind of vision that how our kids can live a better, or the next generation can live better life. Okay, and that's somehow bringing in a certain meaningful plans on our journey to achieve what we want. And the more meaningful your plan have, the more you be able to generate the money that help you to achieve what you want. Okay, so today we talk about the 6 fund rules that most guru basically advise us to do. So we're going to I'm going to share with you six of these fun, and this week you're going home and try to do it, and next week give me some feedback to see if it actually work for your life. Yeah. Okay, so what we've been recommend is we have 6 bottles of fun. Okay, let's say this bottle, 6 bottle of fun. Okay. And this every month when you receive the money, when you have income coming in, or every time you have money coming in your life, in your bank account, then you're going to split the money into six of these bottle. Yeah, so we call this a 6 funds. The first will be self-development. Yeah. First one is self-development. Fund. And for this, you're going to put in 10% of your earning, or whatever money coming into your life, 10% of it. Okay. The second one is the financial freedom fund. And this will also be 10%. The next one is gratitude fund. This one, you will put in 5% of what you're earning. Number 4 will be self-reward fund. And for this, you will put in 10% of what you're earning. Next will be long-term saving fund. Okay. For this, you will put in 10%. And the last one is self and family care fund. Self-care. This is different from self-reward. Yeah, this is self-care, self and family care. This will be 55%. Okay. All right, so that is the 6 pot of funds that you're going to do this week. And let's see if it's work for you. Okay. Because even though this has been recommended by the gurus or by the people who are successful, but not necessarily that it's going to work for us. Yeah. So we got to apply it and see if it's work. If it's not work, we might think of how it's work and changing it to suit our lifestyle. Okay. Because some of you may not have a certain plan right now for the future, but some of you already think of what 5 years, 10 years down the line, or 50 years down the line, what you want your kid gonna live, how you want your kids going to live, how you plan your what we saying is what the people normally are saying is retirement. But to be honest with me, I don't have the word retirement not really in my vocabulary. Because the thing is, if you do what you love, if you do what you like, there's no such thing as retirement. The reason that you need to retire is because society already give us the way of thinking that when you're young, you got to work hard, and then when you get old, you're going to enjoy your life because of all the time that you've been working hard, all the time that you're suffering to earn money. But if we're thinking of money as our friend, we're thinking of what we're doing as what we're passionate about, what we're doing as what we love, what we like, then don't know such things as retirement. Okay? When you have to retire, that will be the saddest day of your life because you're not able to do what you love anymore, right? So that's why I'm saying maybe some of these will work for you, but maybe it's not going to work. So this week, you're going to apply this and see if it's work. And then next week, we can come to a different solution because for certain, this has been recommended in the book Think and Grow Rich, and in the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, and in some of other financial courses. But after few years or after a decade applying this, a lot of people has come to a different solution for these 6 funds. But we will start from this first and see if it's work for you. Okay. Most of the time, when we're receiving money, okay, when you receive your salary at the end of the month, then you will start using that money to pay for bills, to pay for all the certain expenses, right? Pay for what you currently need. You pay for all your needs first, and then you pay for what you want. Hardly any of us actually split the money into the self-development fund, financial freedom fund, gratitude fund, self-reward fund, and long-term saving fund. And that's the reason why sometime by the 10 days after you receive your salary, most of the money gone. And then kind of suffering to wait until the end of the month, the end of next month, when you receive your next salary. Yeah. So that's why we has been recommended to split our money into the first 5 funds first before we actually use the rest of the money to take care of ourselves and our family. So this self and family care is the basics of daily activity of your bills, electric bills, internet bill, water bills, your food, your basic clothes, okay? And the other 45% will put into this in order to either to grow or to help you once you actually in a difficult time. Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about the self-development fund. Have you heard about the term of if the rich don't study, they won't stay rich for long, and if the poor don't study, they won't stay poor indefinitely. They will stay poor. If poor don't study, then the poor will stay poor indefinitely. So, and that's the reason why we got to invest 10% of your money into developing yourself. It's the same with you, the money, right? If you have kids and the money right now you have is somehow put into your kids' education. Why are you doing that? Obviously, you're thinking that with certain education, your kids will become better in the future, right? They will somehow earn a better living and living a better life because for like 18, 15, 18, 20 years, you invest in your kids' education. And that kind of education is just the beginning because certainly for most of us, education doesn't stop when we leave school. Most of us studying and educating is what it should be in our everyday life, right? Every day we learn the new things, and every day with what you're doing, you got to improve your ability in your work, right? Some of you here, every day you got to improve the ability in sorting out, I don't know, what you're doing right now. Let's say you are an accountant, okay? When you left an accountant school and become and have a certificate qualified to be an accountant, does that mean that you stop learning about accounting? No, right? Every day there will be a new software of accounting. There will be a new way to deal with accounting, and you got to continue learning it. And if your client is somehow a very high quality client, then your ability in sorting out resolving the problem have to also increase in order to satisfy your client or to resolve the problem that your client have. So every day you're constantly learning, not only in the ability of dealing with the work that you're doing, but also in developing yourself as a person, right? So it is saying what why last few weeks we're talking about the mindset of the financing, right? So for certain at school, we only learn a very small amount of things that helping us deal with the world, and most of them may be not even helping us. What? Tell me, what have you learned in school, but now you already forgot about it and don't really useful for your life anymore? What did you remember in school that nowadays you don't really use it at all? But when you were in school, you've been forcing to learn so much about it. So let's say routing. How many times you use routing in your life, mathematic wise? Since cost tank. Any of you remember that? Nope.
Yes, you do.
uh,
Yes.
do you really use it in your life anymore? No,
No.
right? Because when we go into the world, what we have to learn is totally different from what we learn in school. But we got to start from somewhere, right? So school is the good place to start from. Okay, so from school we have the ability of constantly learning. So for like 15, 18 years, constantly learning every day, hopefully that create a habit of long-term learning for the rest of our life. Huh? Yeah, and that's why most of the guru, most of the successful people, what they do, they recommend us to read book every day. They recommend us to continue to taking a different course, to um, growing our ability in terms of finance, in terms of health, in terms of relationship, in terms of our inner self, inner world, for example. Okay, yeah. So the ability to continue learning is that should we should invest in our life. Okay, so 10% of your income should go into the self-development fund. Yeah, and by investing in your self-development, you not only improve the knowledge that you have, but you also improve the what they say is the energy, the vibrational energy frequencies that you have, right? Certainly, a person who um, confident about their knowledge, confident about what they're doing, they have a high energy vibrational frequency, right? That's is also the things that help to them to attract what the same frequency into their life. Sandra said so many unnecessary stuff taught though at a young age. They should have taught me how to make money. They should have taught you how to make money at a young age instead of finding X. That's what I'm missing to start with. I mean, to be honest, we can't really refuse what we learn in at school because certainly most of it kind of like theory. But if somehow we um, we be able to learn from some of those teachers that actually can help us. Depend on the teacher that you learn at school. You go into school and depend on the teacher. Some of the teachers they are really good with helping students to apply those theory into life. But most teacher obviously they just teach theory. But somehow if you are lucky, like some of those American movie you watch, you see some of um, very good teachers. They put a lot of work into helping students apply those theory into their life. And that's also the part of why America, they are very good. They invest a lot of money in researching and in making those, you know, those research into proper and workable stuff. But certainly for most of us, the rest of the world is tend to be theory than practicals. Mhm. But we can't really refuse that, those are useless because without those, we might not be able to understand a certain math when we come to life, such as if you be able to do investment, right? And you go to the bank, you borrow money, the bank will talk about some of the financial terms. And without learning those at school, you won't be able to understand what they're saying. So We got to keep our gratitude and grateful for the knowledge that we learn at school, even though nowadays we might not use it anymore. But certainly, it's got to be useful somehow that the education industry put them into our education. Yeah. And depend on what you're doing nowadays, it will be useful or not. Certainly, for an accountant, those stuff actually work for them because they use it every day in their life. For an engineer who always um, have to do a certain calculation for the work that they do, then yes, some of those that we learn in school that they continue applying in their life. But most of us, because we do different jobs, and the job in our life nowadays, let's say you are um, a TV presenter, then certainly those knowledge you learn in school don't really help you. But remember, when you're at school, you have to standing up in front of everyone. You have to lead the group. You have to do the certain thing that also to help you toward the work that you're doing now. It's just helping in different ways, depend on the career wise that you choose. Yeah. And because of there's so many career, the school can't really cater for anyone or any particular career. They have to teach us um, in terms of everything all in once. Yeah. And then when we get to like college or university, then we start choosing what we really want and concentrate on those parts. But certainly for the education industry, they have to cater for the majority. And the majority is include what? Doctor, engineer, all kind of jobs, right? So they have to include all of those in 12 years of education. Yeah. And obviously, it's very lucky for any of us who have found our talent in a certain things. Let's say you and your parents found that you are very good with violin, and from the years of 5 or 6, you also just concentrate on learning violin and become and have the end in mind of become a violinist specialist. um, yeah, then obviously you will take a different path from the majority of other of us, okay, because you already know what you want to achieve in life. But for most of us, we don't, right? For most of us, we like, okay, go to school at grade 1 to grade 5, we learn certain things. We learn to read, we learn to do basic math. And from high school, we learn of more difficult things, such as obviously doing X, finding Y and X. But doesn't that also apply in your life when you're going to find other partner of your life and those also X and Y? So think about it carefully, then it does. It does really somehow relate to our life. It's just if we be able to learn the practicals of it or not. Okay. So that's the self-development fund. We constantly learning, and by learning will help us to improve our energy vibrational frequency. And as we all know, right, science nowadays has said everything in this world make up of energy. Yeah, we have our own energy. This mouse has its energy. So anything that exists in this world have energies. Okay, even money, right? It have energies, and that's why there's a saying that the money doesn't. When we learn about the definition of energy, is that what energy doesn't disappear. It's just changing from one form to another form. So the same with money, it doesn't disappear. It's just going from one person hand to another person hand. Yeah. So everything in this world is made up of energies, and it will, and our life will depend on how our own energy, vibrational frequency, matching with whatever it is, then we be able to attain it. Okay. That's the reason why there's sometimes you heard those are some people who who be able to see what you say a soul, yeah, who be able to see something that normal people don't really see. Because why? Because they have a different energy vibrational frequency. Okay. And we talk about the intangible or the immaterial things, but let's talk about the material things. Yeah. In our life, the quality of life that you have nowadays is because your energy vibrational frequency matching to what your lifestyle right now, and that's why you have the lifestyle that you have now. Which though people such as come back to Elon Musk, he certainly have a totally different energy vibrational frequency compared to us. Yeah. And if maybe one time you're lucky enough to be able to meet him, you wouldn't be able to talk to him right? You wouldn't be able to have to match the conversation that he's talking, because his energy vibrational frequency is so different from yours, so different from us. Yeah. His knowledge also different from us. So that's why when a person have a certain knowledge that will make up to their energy vibrational frequencies. Okay. And from that, from the knowledge that they have, if you remember the triangle that we used to draw before, when you have enough information about certain things, and that information is stable, it doesn't change, right? It doesn't change because some of us, when we learn about certain things, we have doubt, we have a question, we have a lot of thinking in our head that keep changing our vision, changing the end in mind, changing what we want in life. So as long as the information is stable and fixed and constantly improving, then you will have the energy okay, you will have the energy, or what we say, the energy vibrational frequencies grow inside of you. Okay. That's energy vibrational frequency will help you to improve your financial life. Let's say your energy vibrational frequency matching with the high quality of life, with the amount of wealth, the big amount of wealth, then you will attract them into your life. Okay. And this energy, the more stable they are, the higher the energy vibrational frequency you have, the more it will appear in your life, as it will materialize in your life. Okay. So materialize into wealth, into a good quality of life, into money, into a successful career, into a big bank account. Yeah. So this information that you have in your mind will decide how much energy you have, and that will make up of your material world. And that's the reason why we always have to learn. Okay. We'll have to always have to developing ourselves. Okay. And that 10% of the money that you receive in your life will put into here. The other 10% going to financial freedom fund. Okay. Because nowadays we all talk about financial freedom. Yeah. Financial freedom. If you have a wardrobe, for example, especially us those women, if we have the wardrobe, okay, um, answer me this question, right? Do your wardrobe reduce um, throughout time? Does your wardrobe reduce the amount of clothes, the amount of handbags, the amount of shoe, or it actually working the opposite ways? It actually increase over time. Which one? What happened over time to a wardrobe, a woman wardrobe, or even the man wardrobe? What happened
It
over time?
decreases over time.
Yes.
It decreases.
Right. Every Christmas coming, every New Year, every occasion, birthday, Valentine, what our wardrobe just increase significantly. And with some people, it's out of control. Right. So that's give us the result that yeah, our clothes increase over time. Okay. So the same with our shoe is increased over time. Okay. Let's say instead of having a closet, a wardrobe, you actually have a safe that store gold. What do you think? Would it work the same way? Yeah. If you actually have a safe in your house that you store gold, it would work the same way. Yeah. The amount of gold you have in it will increase over time because instead of thinking what clothes you're going to buy next, yeah, you're going to think how uh, how much gold you should buy next. Yeah. So if you store in gold, then the gold and money will keep increasing over time. Okay, money attract money, gold attracting gold, more clothes attracting more clothes. How about let's say if you actually have a safe that's storing property titles, yeah, those paper that prove that you own a property, you actually have a safe that store that, then what? Over time, the amount of property you own or the amount of paper that prove that you own a property title, that also will increase over time. Okay, you will think about, okay, now you have a house, how can you get a house later on so your kids can you can pass it down to your kids. And if you have like 3 to 5 kids, you're gonna start thinking more in terms of now I have one house, but then there's 5 kids, I need to somehow get another 5 houses in order for the kids to be hopefully be have a good start for their life when they grow up. Yeah. Okay. And that's why we need the financial freedom fund. Okay. Because money is act like a magnet. Like I said, money is have its own energy, its own energy vibrational frequency, right? So similar like things attract each other. We are humans. Women and men attract each other. Okay. Money also attracting money. Yeah. Okay. And again, come back to start with the end in mind, or everything begin with the result. Okay. When you're planning to buy an asset and you save it up money, you can actually save up money for your financial freedom fund. You can actually increase those assets over time. Okay. Um, yeah, so based on that theory, right? If you saving up for illness, what do you think is gonna happen? We get ill eventually because um, that's what the law of attraction is like. Yeah, most of us we think that we work so much, we need to save money for the rainy day. Okay, so though the rainy day what is when you get ill, when you in an unfortunate situation, then hopefully those money will come to use. So once you start thinking that way, what's going to happen? If you don't get ill, then certain family member will get ill. In order for you to be able to use that money, because your end in mind, your result in your mind, you're thinking of what? You need to save money for the rainy day. So then obviously, as the universe, the law of attraction, the rainy day will happen in order for you to use your money. Okay? So instead of thinking it that way, and that's why we got to switch our mindset in terms of, saving up money to increase our assets, to increase our financial freedom, instead of, save up money for rainy days, money for in case we get ill. Okay? Yeah, so that's a very slightly mindset switching that you need to do somehow. In order to avoid all of the unfortunate things that happen in your life. But obviously, going through life, we cannot avoid those illness and those unfortunate situation happen. But remember, you don't expect it to happen. You don't prepare it to happen. Okay, you don't have an end in mind that it's going to happen. It will happen, but you will have the money for those when it's happened. So the main thing is you got to switch your mind to think of the result, the end in mind of saving to have your asset increase. Okay, the end in mind of having a financial freedom lifestyle. Yeah, then whatever happen will happen, and you will have money to sort it out when things happen. But you don't actually think about it as the result of it will happen, and then you have to save money for it. Yeah, you understand what I'm saying? What I'm saying is make sense?
Yeah? Yes, it does.
Okay, thanks. It's nice to have feedback sometime. So if you're saving up for risk will happen. Yeah, it's the law of attraction. Okay, but if you save up money for creating an asset, buying gold, save money to attract more money, then more money will come to you. Okay, that's financial freedom fund. And then we have the gratitude fund. The reason why we have gratitude fund is cause and effect rules. We all heard about cause and effect in our life, right? The more you give, the more you get. Okay? The more you appreciate about things, the more things will come into your life. Mm-hmm. There's certain habit that people saying when you show action, you reap habit. And you show habit, you reap character. You show character, you reap effects. Yeah? Or you reap the result. Okay? So previously, we were learning about the, not sure if I did talk about it before. If I didn't, then we talk about it today then. There are certain choice in your life. Okay, everything in your life is happened because you have chosen certain things. So all your choice that happened in the past that create a result in your life today. Yeah. All of your choices that create a result in your life today. All your choices in the past that create the result in your life. And those choices happen because you like certain thing. There's certain thing that your lifestyle is suitable to. Okay, like you always see them wearing this pink top. And I make the choice of wearing this pink top every time I see you guys. So now, that's why when Charles see me and like, okay, you don't wearing pink today. So I'm wearing pink because first certainly I liking it, and then it's become I choosing it to wear every time I'm seeing you guys. So now it's become somehow you recognize me as a pink lady, for example. Okay. Um, so all by choice in the past that create our result today, and those choice has been affected by our characters. When you say about choice, right? We change our choice all the time. Yeah. Um, we change our choice all the time. Let's say when we were a kid, we will choose a candy over $10, for example. Yes. When you become a teenager, you will do the opposite, choosing a $10 over a candy, because you know that with $10 you can buy many candies and many other things. When you are at the age of you right now, you certainly, you know, thinking of in terms of more than a candy and a $10. Yeah. So that's because of our character has been changing. That decide of our choice had also changed. Okay. Isn't that strange? It's not strange at all, you know. Your character changing, especially those women. In the morning, we wake up, we happy. Yeah. So that's a different character. In the afternoon, some of the work, some of the job at work didn't go through as we expected. We too much work. We are unable to have lunch, so we start become a bit grumpy. Our character change. By evening, we get home. Yeah, we're already tired after a long day, and probably didn't have lunch. Doesn't help. And we go in home, walk into the house, see the kids just running around. Um, Kicking and shouting at each other, you know, we will have a totally different character. So within a day, our character changing, and over time, our character also change. Okay, thinking about yourself when you were teenagers to now, to when you before you got married, you totally have different character, right? And before you got married to you after you get married, your character also change. When you have certain responsibility, you have a certain people depending on you, then you have to change your character somehow to suit the lifestyle. Yeah. So because of your character change, that lead to your choice also change, and that create the different result in your life. And that's why there's that's why even you have a twins, yeah, even if you have a twins, you and your twins will have a totally different life. Because of the certain choice that you make, and that because of the certain character that you're growing over time. Yeah. So character, what affect our character, what deciding our character, that is because of our habit, certain habit we have in our life, but those habits are determined by the action that we take for a same action that you're repeating every day, that create a habit. If you have a good action that you do every day you wake up early, let's say 5 o'clock, you read book, you write your journal before you start a new day, then if the action continuously happening over time every single day, you will have a good habit, and those habits has count as one of those habits that decide for you to become a successful person or not. Yeah. So habit become your characters, and your character will decide your choice in life, and that affects your result. Okay. So there's a saying: when you sow action, you get habit. You reap habit. You show habit. You reap characters. and you show characters, you will reap result or the effect in terms of cause and effects. Okay. So what decide our action? That is our thinking. Thinking. And our thinking is determined from our belief. And do you know that whatever you believe in life, eventually it will come true? Doesn't matter what it is. What you believe is will come true. Yeah. And our belief has determined by what? By the image that we have in mind. Image that we have in mind. The image we have in mind. And that image has determined by what we hear, what we see, what we say, and what we know. Okay. There's also another things. Okay, the belief, your belief somehow can skip all of these thinking, action, habit, and character and go straight into choice. Take an example when you go to the shop, the supermarket, right? When you believe the products that is good for you, good for your family, you will immediately make a choice to buy it, and the result you owe it. Okay, without going through this step of thinking if this product is good or not. You go to Google to compare the price. You need to go to Google to read all the side effect or the information about it, and then take an action and habit character. Okay, this can skip the whole thing through, going from your belief into your result. Okay. So let's say if you have a belief that you deserve a wealthy lifestyle, you and your family deserve a good quality of life. Okay. Then with that the end in mind, you will make a certain choice in order to create the result that what you think become true. Yeah. And obviously that's belief. You can't just believe certain things without being affected, yeah, by society and by your own hear, what you say, what you know, because your belief is determined by your image in mind. What you have in your mind determined over time by what you hear, whatever your parents say to you, your teacher say to you. Okay, your parents say that you got to work hard in order to earn a good living. Your teacher, your friend also said that working hard will make your life better. But then, there's certain people in society telling us that work hard can't really determine. I mean, if working hard will make you wealthy, then obviously those people who do all the labor job, those people who do the most hard working people, couldn't they be the richest people in the world? That's not true, right? So what you hear, what you say, what you know got to be changed. And how can you change it? By saying what you want. Most of us, we don't really say what you want. You got to control what you hear and what you see. Why? You got to control it, because if you don't control it, every day you go on TikTok, you go on Facebook, you go on YouTube, you go out to the street, you see all the banner, the advertiser if you don't control what you hear and see, that benefit to you, all you hear and see will be the bad news or the bad or the not good information. And remember the law of attraction, the more of the bad things surrounding your life, the more you will attract those bad things happen. Okay, remember those days once a lot of bad things also happen at the same time. Those days that you wake up in the morning, you don't feel very well, and then you walk out the street, you step into a dog a dog poop, and then you go into your work, you got late because of certain traffic. And then when you got there, apparently your boss not very happy, and then things just keep coming in, bad things keep coming in at the same time because of going back to because of your energies at that time is matching the bad vibration frequency. So if you don't control of what you hear and see, then what does everything that society want will affect you, and you can't determine your life. You can't make a decision to make a choice to create the result that you want. Yeah. So you got to control what you hear and see, and then what you say and know is got to be it's got to follow along of what you want in life. Most of us, we don't really say what we want, you know. For example, when you see your kids, when you, let's say, your kids, just an example, yeah, stole money from you, okay? They see you had your wallet left on the table, and that morning somehow they're afraid of asking you for the allowance for money to go to school. They want to buy ice cream, okay? They saw you left the wallet on the table, and somehow they sneakingly open it and took $5 out of your wallet without you knowing it, okay? Then after that, you found out that you lost $5, and you work back in your mind, and eventually the only person can take your money is your kids. Yeah. So you make up your mind that your kids actually the person who stole the money from you. So what you saying after she come back from school, she or he come back school? You're not gonna like sit down nicely and like, oh darling, are you do you need money? Do you want more money? You don't really say anything of that, right? Certainly, what you gonna do? You're gonna swear your kids and like, why do you taking my money? And you're gonna go all of, you're gonna say all of the bad things. That's always the things that happen when you get angry because you think your kid is bad, your kid have a very terrible behavior that is so unhonest, go against all of your moral that you have, right? You don't want your kid become a person who go around and stealing things. So what you're gonna do is what you're gonna say very bad things that make your kid feel bad, and hopefully what makes your kid feel bad will stop them from stealing. And that's what we normally do, right? And because of that, what you say to them normally will go against what you want to say, because what you want to say is that is what stealing is not a good thing and honesty is the best thing. Yeah. So instead of saying to your kids that hey, girls, you should be honest, you should ask me when you need money. Most of us, we don't say things like that, but most of us will what we will squash our kids, and scaring them and making them feel uncomfortable because of their action. So we don't tend to say what we really want, but we say what we feel, what are our emotions at that moment, right? And that's why we need to change what we say to relate to what we want instead of just our emotion at that time. Okay, I'm gonna wrap it up because we were talking about the gratitude fund, and then we have self-reward fund. These are self-explainable. Okay, self-reward fund and long-term saving fund. Self-reward fund. So Christmas, we need to spend some money for family and for ourselves. Our birthday, for example, we want to spend some money for ourselves. Then that's for self-reward, because for all of your hard work, all of your um, energy that you're spending on working, now you should have some of that money investing yourself to rewarding yourself. Yeah, and also long-term saving fund for example, for family holiday, for family vacation, or for your kid education later on. Okay, right. So applying for this week, what we're gonna do? You going home and buy 6 bottles. If you cannot buy bottle, just get a Ziploc, for example, a Ziploc bag. Yeah, you all have Ziploc bag at home, everyone. Yeah, get a Ziploc bag, 6 Ziploc bag, and then you're gonna write a note.
Yes, teacher.
You're gonna write a note on this paper, sticking on the Ziploc bag, and you're gonna write self-development fund 10%, financial freedom fund 10%, okay, gratitude fund 5%. So you're gonna put that in on top of those bags, Ziploc bag, okay. And this week, every single day, okay, you practice. I don't know how much you're earning right now, but certainly this is only for us to practice. It's okay. This week, every single day, start from today. If you can do it, and then next week, give me some feedback, and we work our way to a better funds. If it's not work for you, okay. But if it's work for you, keep doing it, okay, because this habit will make you wealthy. Right, so doing that this week, and every day you put let's say let's say you take $100 out for this week to do this exercise. Yeah, every day you put $1 into the self-development fund Ziploc, $1 to financial freedom fund Ziploc, 50 cents into gratitude fund, $1 to self-reward fund, long-term saving fund, also $1, and $5.50 to self and family care. Doing it every single day, and at the end of next Friday, before we start session, you sit down and count how much money you save in each fund, okay. And if you can also work out, okay, if that money is the money you receive every month, you receive $100 every month, for example, then let's say how you can split them into 10%, 5%, 55%, okay. And if you can doing it for the whole week, okay. So that's some of the exercise for this week. And that's also end of my session for today. Thank you very much for listening. Any question?
Does
Yes,
anyone
question.
have any question? Okay, Charles, go ahead.
Okay. I enjoyed your presentation. I'm always fascinated when I listen to you anyways. I don't know how you keep all of these things in your head, because I try, but it's really hard to keep them in my head. Like this digression you made during your presentation, when you started talking about what you see, hear, say, know. We've learned it before in the past. I think when we started this whole FICA session, we learned it, but
Yeah.
how do I keep it in my head? How do I keep it in my head? Do you have any tips so that I don't forget it? So it's always in my head. That's the first. but that's not all. I wanted you to also talk about when you said something, you just mentioned it in passing, but you didn't really elaborate on it.
Yeah, the
You said
time.
what we believe,
Mm-hmm.
whatever our belief is, no matter what it is,
This will
it
come
will
true.
somehow come to pass.
Yes,
Yeah, I
this will
wanted you to
come true.
elaborate
Whatever
on
you
that
believe, it
because
will come true.
yeah, I think it's true, but I can't explain it. So I wanted you to shed more light on it. Then, lastly, or maybe last but not the least, for the exercise you gave us, the 6 Ziplocs and all of that, or anyhow we want to store the funds. I don't know, but these days, maybe it's a problem, and maybe there can be a solution to it. Maybe somebody here can even help create a solution. We have entrepreneurs in the house because most of the time these days, money is not so physical. So it's really going to be hard to get cash to put in those bags. We don't usually, money is no longer physical. We don't get cash. We don't deal with cash these days. So I don't know if there's maybe somebody in the house can
Understand?
create a
Yeah.
solution for it, yeah, so that we can have maybe e-wallet or piggy vest or something online that people can have Ziplocs where they keep savings like that, and it doesn't have to be physical because money these days is no longer physical.
Okay. Yeah, I got what you're
So
saying.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So I think those are my questions anyway. But the presentation, excellent, very nice. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for the question. So the first one is, how can I remember all of this? uh, so if you're asking how can I remember all of this, it will be a different answer. But if you're asking how can you remember all of this, it will be a different answer. So which one do you want me to answer? Because I think what you really want is not how can I remember, but how can you also remember. Right?
Yeah, how can I always, yeah, I, Charles.
You know, my teacher said when I start learning about all of this, okay, I had the same question that you had, and my teacher saying, you know, after I listening to him, if I don't remember anything, I going the right way. I gone the right way. The right way because what? Because first, our life is, let's say your life is on your left hand, yeah, but the life you really want is on your right hand. So obviously the person on the left think differently, act differently, believe differently, do differently. That's why you have what you have at the left. And the person on the right, the person who really want to be, really look up to become, they probably think differently, act differently, behave differently, and totally have different energy of vibrational frequency. Yeah. So in order to going from left to right, you have to going through a certain process. The first, obviously, you got to learn how the right person think and how the right person act and what they have inside of them. Start from, remember the triangle I draw, start from what the right person have in terms of information. What do they have in themselves? What do their mindset store? What do they store in the mindset? Yeah. And you got to learn how their energy, how to increase your energy to match the level of energy that the right person have. Yeah. Because obviously the with the unsuccessful person, with the successful person, two different people have totally different energy of vibrational frequency. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So and also the poor person, the unsuccessful person, totally think differently. They think that life is so difficult. They think that they unable to achieve things because they limit in their knowledge, they limit in their ability. They have so many barriers that stop them going to become a successful person. Whereas the successful person, they think differently regardless of my ability right now. I can improve it and increase. I can learn from successful people, and I can become successful one day. And whatever my limit right now, I can overcome it. So totally different thinking, right? And that's why it lead them to different different point in life. Yeah. So in order, so what you say in coming back to what you're saying of how can you remember all of this, it's not because it's not about how can you remember, but as first it would be about how can this information be benefit to you first, because if it's no benefit, there's no point for you to remember it. Yeah. So first, how can it benefit you, and listen to it. How can you apply it in your life in order for you to transform, to change for better of you? Yeah. So once you're attending that first, then you will start remember it. Yeah. Once you start, because first my teacher said to me once that whatever I learned from him, if I'm unable to put it in practice, I haven't learned anything. I need to go back to the lessons. Number one. And if I learn, I'll be able to applying it, but I'm unable to share it, then what? Then I had to go back to learn at the beginning again. Because I'm unable, even though I'm applying it, but it's no use for my kids, no use for my parents, no use for my husband, no use for the people around me. Then what the point? Then I'm still had to go back to learning it in order to be able to share with other people. Okay. And when I be able to share with other people, but they unable to change because they don't see the change in me. What I'm saying is just theory. I'm just yapping with them every day. I want them to change, but I don't actually changing myself, then obviously my teacher said you got to go back to start learning at the beginning again, because the mindset of the person in order to help others to transform, to change, it's totally different from mindset from the person who only think about themselves. Yeah. And once you be able to learn it, be able to applying it, you be able to share with each other, and what you sharing actually help others to change. That means you changing life. And that means that your kid life will change, your friends, your family, the people around you will change. And if the whole community you live in, everyone changing for the better, wouldn't that be a better world that we want to live in? Yeah. And by that time, obviously, what I'm talking gonna already been in your head already. So it's go through a period. You can't just listen to it one, hear it one, and you remember. But it's go through few steps. The first step is learning it. Second step is applying it. Third step is sharing it. And the fourth step is what you share actually help others to change. And that's why we're calling what create a change in the world. Like Mahatma Gandhi used to say, whatever you do, as long as it's create a change in the world, then that is the meaningful thing, the most meaningful thing that you can do in this life. Okay, that's the first question. The second question, you're asking about belief. So whatever you believe will come true. Yeah. So this not about religion things. Yeah. This is about the certain belief in your life. Let me tell you a story of this is a real story of one of my friends. She grew up when she was little. She grew up in the a family, and her house was in the middle of in between of two parks. On the left side is the very poor area. A lot of robbery happened. People over there, they spend money on gambling. It's like poor area where people are unable to, to do a lot of good things. And on the other side, on the right side of her house, I mean, not literally on the left and right, but those two parts on the right area, like those quite a lot of rich people living there. And obviously her parents want her to become friends with the rich kids. So they always encourage her to go to play with rich kids' family. And what she found out for herself is that when she go to play with the rich kids, they're very selfish. They don't want to share their toy with hers. Obviously, those toys quite expensive, so they don't want to share. And if she be able to make friends with some of them, they always complain about their parents doesn't give them time. Their parent doesn't give them what they want. They unable to see their parents at all. They complain about a lot of things, and she found that they're not very happy at all. Whereas when she go to play with the poor kids area, these are like whatever their toy she can play with, and obviously they don't even have toy to play, so they normally just go around and play hide and seek and play all of those traditional games, all of those games that making them become tied together, all of those games that helping them to be acquainted and be friends with each other. And they very happy to share with her of their food wherever they get, and their parents all those days are gamblings and dropping and things, but they are whenever they have something they're willing to share. And she found it's a much more happier place where the poor people live. And with that mindset, when she grow up, what she think, the rich people is unhappy. If I become rich, I will be unhappy like my other rich friend. If I'm not very rich, obviously I will be so happy like my poor friend. Yeah. So for 20 years, when she grow up, for the whole 20 years, she tried to work very, very hard, try to become rich, try to do everything, 2 or 3 jobs at the same time. She's starting up a company to do everything. Eventually, she always go back at the beginning because of those mindset, because of certain belief that she had. It's ingrained into her subconscious. So somehow it doesn't matter what she does. She worked very hard. I mean, she worked probably much harder than me. Obviously, I have family now. She's still single and still work very hard. But somehow there's certain thing happen in her life that always get her back to the beginning, back to where her belief, her mindset is. And then when we start this journey with each other, we start changing our mindset. Obviously I start at a different point from her, but from her position, when she start changing her mindset, she change what's her belief, then things start working out and things start coming into her life, and now she's in a quite good position compared to, let's say, 5 years ago. Because 5 years ago, for the whole 20 years, doesn't matter what she does, she always go back to beginning, because of the belief that she had. If she become rich, then she will become unhappy, and no one wants to be unhappy. Everyone wants to be happy, right? So it doesn't matter how much money you have. The main thing in life is be happy of having money, not because of having that money making you unhappy. So it's just an example for you to answer your question on the belief. Okay. The last question you were asking, I forgot what is it. Can you ask again?
Now, I was saying it might not be too practicable for
Oh,
us
yes. So I'm sure
Yeah.
nowadays most of us receive salary in a bank account. So this I plan to talk about next week when we're already applying it to use the Ziploc bag. But if you are having account, then highly recommend to open different account. I think for the bank account that you have, you can open saving account and many other classic account, different account, you be able to open 6 different account where you divide your money every month from what? From your main account, you receive the salary, then you set up automatic money to split into a different account, 10% to this, 10% to that, and 5% to the other. And whatever left in your main account will be the 55% for you to use for yourself and family care. And then you have other 5 other different accounts for you to put in your 10% in your self-development, financial freedom, gratitude fund, things like that. Yeah. So if it's a bank account, then I recommend that. But in order to do that, you got to first start with a habit of using these 6 funds first. And that's why I recommend to maybe withdraw some money, let's say just a $50, and every day you can sit with your kids and tell them to put $1 into this bag. That's what I used to do with my girls. $1 into this bag, and this called self-development fund. So it's in terms of teaching my kids of a new financial world. Also create a habit for me and her to start using the money. Obviously, it's $1, $2. It's not realistic in terms of what you receive every month. You don't receive $100 every month. Probably some of you receive a couple of thousand per month. Yeah. So you got to divide in terms of the percentages. But in terms of this week for the exercise, I highly recommend you to withdraw some money and then start doing it. If you have kids, you can also doing it with your kids. Just a fun games with your kids, and to create a habit for the whole week. I mean, 7 days doesn't really give us any habit for the long term, but doing it next week, you will see if it actually work. When you start doing it, you're gonna start having more questions. You're gonna start having a different point of view in terms of if it actually works for your life, and you might think of another way for it to work more practically. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. Hopefully I answered that question. So for this week, we just starting with create some habit of using this 6 bottle of fund first. 6 ziplocs of fund first. Yeah. Create a habit first. And then you see if it's work, then you can start, open a different type bank account and divide the money every time you got the money in. And if you're doing that every day for the whole years, the end of the year, you're gonna see there's a difference in your term of growing your financial freedom, growing your self-development, growing your gratitude in life, growing a long-term saving fund for yourself and your family, because you've been spending a whole years doing it. And because of most of us so far, we haven't done any of that, right? Yeah. So when you start doing it, like the example I was saying about if you have a safe of gold, then the more gold will start coming in because you will start thinking of how to attain more of it. The same with these 6 funds. When you start working on it, you will start thinking when the money coming in, the first thing you're not going to think of how can you spend this money wisely, but the first thing you're going to think is, okay, 10% this, 10% that, 5% this, okay? And then 55% remaining will be for your daily life. And at the end of the year, you will attain a certain amount for self-development, long-term saving fund, your self-reward fund, your financial freedom fund. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so that's called the meaningful plans. Yeah. So when you start having that fund, obviously, you're not going to leave it like that, right? You're going to start thinking, okay, how can I developing myself more to be at the same level as those successful people? But you got to start with a certain fund first. Yeah. Thank you very much for the question. It's very practical.
All right, thank you very much, guys. Thank you, Miss Anne, for your question. Emmanuel, thank you for clapping. If you have any further questions, just drop it on the FICA channel. It's linked to this FICA Friday and related to Miss Anne, or you can take the questions to next week. Time is fast spent, so sorry for taking your time. Thank you very much for coming. Those have stayed to the end. I know it's late night in Indonesia. Myla, thank you guys for staying so long. Like I said, Makan's eyes are swollen.
Panka,
Thank
how
so
can you
much,
manage to do
guys.
that? How can you do this and like heart coming out from your hand? Can you show me, please?
You need to upgrade your iOS. If you
Oh,
update your iOS, like you will get this one. You will get this one.
I have no idea.
Aw.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. Look at Manuel and Charles.
I did it!
Oh, it is. No.
I did it! It happened,
That's
right?
amazing.
Where is it? Yeah, it happened, but well, thank you very much.
I got it.
Banka,
Look at his face.
for the update. Thank you so much for the update. It's so nice to know we can do this now. I love we come out. Thank you very much.
Look at Manuel's
does
face.
any... Panka, she's the queen of Zoom. I don't know why. That's amazing. All right, guys. Thank you guys for staying to the end. You see, there's always... Oh, Emmanuel came out. He's trying so hard. He's trying so hard. Wow, Emmanuel, congratulations. Cool. You see, there's always a tip of the iceberg. There's always this always catch at the end. Thank you very much, Banka, for the update. Does any group needs like a breakout room so I can create a room now? Okay. Group 3, no, they don't need one. They don't think so. Emmanuel, do you guys need one?
Yes, we do. I was wondering when you became the spokesperson for Group 3. We need group meeting. Maybe the spokesperson.
Okay.
Thank you, guys. Bye.
All right, thank you, everyone. Have a nice weekend. And
Very
remember
nice.
to do
Thank you very
exercise this
much.
week, and next week we're gonna finalize if it's work for you guys, okay?
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a nice weekend.
Yeah, bye.
Bye bye.